It's Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. I have a lot of weather to talk about today. We have a multi-day severe weather outbreak. Starting today, we have the slight risk, and that's going to be driven by a tornado threat, or we have this tornado threat here, and it is a 2% chance, so we could be expecting some isolated tornadoes today. But also we have other concerns. If you look at this triple R, you can see that we have a Boeing effect over here, and then we have some other cells over here, and also we have a damaging wind threat, and then we have a hail threat also, and that is barely skimming our area, but fortunately I don't think that's going to affect our area. But anybody in these areas today need to be weather aware for tornadoes and damaging winds and large hail. If we go to the day 2 outlook, we have another slight risk, and that's also driven by we have a tornado threat. That's a 5% chance of tornadoes, so we have a bigger risk for tornadoes, and also we have a wind threat, and then we have a hail threat, and we actually have a hashed risk for hail. There is sort of an update on that. I'm not going to get too far on that today, but the hashed risks mean something different, but basically that means that we could see some larger hail in these areas. Then the next day, which is on Friday, we have another risk, and this is a really dangerous risk. This is an enhanced risk. It is hashed 2. So we have another risk with significant severe weather possible. Kansas City, these areas are going to be affected. Over here in Dallas, also from Kansas City all the way to Dallas, there's going to be significant severe weather possible on Friday. So please be prepared for that. I think there's a big chance for tornadoes, also large hail and tornadoes for that. So this severe weather event is going to be going for several days, and I don't know when it's going to stop. Then after that, we don't have another outlook issued after that on Saturday, but I think there is still the potential for severe weather. And the next day, and then guess what? The next day, probably also, we're going to at least see a marginal risk for all those days. And then if we go to the day 7 outlook, this is really far out, and we already have a day 7 outlook, slight risk right over here in this same area. The area that strikes me the most concerning for this next week or so is this area right here. We're going to see a lot of severe weather in the central United States. And this would be on Tuesday. So basically, we're going to see a long period of severe weather. Even our area, probably Columbus too, you need to be prepared. Down here, I am seeing some signs of severe weather later on for down here. So there's going to be a lot of people affected by the severe weather event. So please be aware, and I'm going to show you the big pattern that's going on right now. You can just see we're going to see one trough after another come. This one, then the next, then the next. It's going to be a long duration. Maybe it'll quiet down as we get into later March, but that's no guarantee. This is just the GFS model. So we need to be weather aware because we're breaking into severe weather season a little early. And if I show you the supercell composite, that is going to be high a lot of times in our area, so we can expect severe weather as we get into Tuesday, March 10th. This is where this is heading right now. If we go to the surface-based CAPE, that's looking decent too. So we have several events to be concerned about. This one is another one, and then this one right here, and this one here. We have a lot of events to be concerned about, even in late March. If I show you the temperatures, we're going to see warm temperatures too. We're going to see really warm temperatures in our area. A brief period of below freezing temperatures here and there, but mainly warm temperatures close to 80, if not above 80. So be ready for warm temperatures. Columbus, Ohio, you're kind of right on the edge where sometimes you're going to be below freezing and sometimes you're going to be seeing decently warm temperatures. But a lot of people down here are going to be warm. If we go to the dew points, this is something I like to look at for severe weather. You can see the dew points are, every time there's a severe weather event, the dew points get plenty high to produce severe weather. So the dew point isn't any limitation in our severe weather unless the timing is off. So please be prepared for all this upcoming severe weather. Eventually, Columbus, you're going to be affected by this. We're in severe weather season, so please be prepared. We're going to see several systems. We're going to see a lot of rain, so also we're going to see flooding issues. I'll talk about that. So today we have this marginal risk, and that is going to be for flooding, and we already have flood watches issued, flood advisories. There's going to be a lot of rain down here, so please be prepared for minor flooding, but we could get upgraded to a slight risk, so that would be even more concerning. So anybody in here needs to be prepared, and if you get a flood warning for your area, please be prepared to evacuate. Then tomorrow we have another day of flooding possible in this area, so please be prepared for more flooding issues there. Then the next day there's not really much going on, but then guess what? The next day, which would be on Saturday, we have another risk for flooding, and that's on Saturday. And then the next day, which is on Sunday, we have another risk for flooding. So there's going to be several days of flooding possible. And I think that's all the weather talk I have for you today. Please subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on, that way you don't miss out on any new videos. If you want to see a new website I made, just go to forecastmatt.com and sign up, and then you get customized weather. You can click up here to see the headlines issued for your area, and then you can also look at a lot of other stuff like live streams. I have a schedule about what the chances of me putting out videos are, and then I have the community map, and then I also have a place where you can actually look at the weather for your area. As you can see, for our area, there's going to be a lot of rain, so please check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.